Welcome to the kitchen. So a little while ago I decided to do a 21-day oil painting challenge, which, I mean, you're probably familiar with. If you've watched this channel already, you'll have seen 3 videos on this, because there are time lapses of each week which I've summarized. Feel free to watch those if you haven't yet for some context. And today I thought I would do a pretty chilled out review of that whole thing. I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea in a minute, take you through into my studio, and we'll talk about how that went. So I decided to do this challenge because I felt like I was in a bit of a rut with my painting, and my solution to that was to do 21 paintings in 21 days because, you know, why wouldn't that help? So let's move through into the studio, aka the dining room table. Right, let's see, how does this look?
Good, terrible. Here. No, don't put the plant in the tea.
Does this work? I feel like I'm at a news desk.
How's this? Is this a relaxed, informal vlog? I don't know.
Eventually I'm just gonna have to settle in a place and just accept that it looks like what it looks like, working with an iPhone. Okay, let's get back to the point, which is a review. I also have a bonus video, a 20-second oil painting time-lapse, which I'm going to shoehorn into this video somehow. I don't know where that's gonna fit in, but I've painted it now and it's gonna be included, so you're gonna see that at some point. Right, review, let's get to the point. So a lot of what I'm gonna say is good. I thought it was so helpful for what I am doing and for my business and for painting and practice and all of that. It was great. So I have mostly positive things to say about it, but it doesn't mean that there weren't downsides. Like, I was tired. I started to get some commission work come through. So there were some days I was working about 8 to 9 hours on the commission. So I knew that I would have to do my paintings either the day before or after, because it just wasn't really feasible to do them on that day. And so by the time I was finished, I was exhausted. There were definitely some days where I didn't know what I was gonna paint. So it wasn't all like perfect all the way through. There were definitely some struggles along the way, but they seemed like they were quite minor in comparison to all the good things. So one of the first things that was definitely improved by this challenge was something that wasn't even on my radar, and that was my organization.
That was terrible.
I didn't know how terrible it was, but I have a diary here. It's no use to me, and we just have nothing. I'm not a very organized person, and I didn't realize how much that was hindering me. You just can't do a challenge like this and be unorganized because you have 21 paintings to do. So if you miss a day of painting, you're just gonna have to do 2 the next day or 3 the day after that. It's very quickly going to be unmanageable. So I needed to make sure that I was actually getting things done on time, and I got into a really nice routine where I would get up a little bit earlier than normal, and I would have an early breakfast, and then I'd sit down to paint. I'd do my tiny painting, and then I would break for lunch, have some time away from the easel, and then in the afternoon I just had so much time to do whatever. So that might be doing some more painting practice if I felt really inspired, or I might email clients, I might work on my finances, I could be editing YouTube videos, doing audio, or whatever else needed doing. And I feel so productive, and I got so much more painting done than I even thought was possible to do. If you don't schedule your time, it's really easy for your art to become kind of sidelined a little bit. So occasionally I leave the house. Sometimes I go outside and I might volunteer. Sometimes I'll see my friends, I have appointments, I might go food shopping, all the exciting stuff. And when I do those things, usually my art is kind of being ignored for that time because it's not scheduled in, because I don't have a diary. Well, I do have a diary, I don't have a used diary where I write in what I want to achieve each day. If something else comes up, then I don't really know how much that's impacting my work because it was never written down to do in the first place. But with my paintings, I knew I need to do a painting every day. So if I have to go out on this day, then I'm gonna have to just do 2 the day before. And so my workload was still getting done, but usually I think it just falls to the wayside a bit. It's just not very effective. So definitely my organization and routine has improved from this, but that is not the only thing. So the next thing that improved from doing this was my social media presence, which again was just something that I hadn't really thought about. I can't think of a way to make me look interesting while I'm telling you this, so I think this is probably a good time for the bonus video. So I have been trying to improve my interaction with social media this year because I wasn't really using it very well. I don't understand Instagram and Facebook very well and how to grow on there. I'm not very good at it. And I've been trying to post 5 times a week, but it is difficult sometimes because occasionally I'll just feel, well, I don't really have anything to say. And it just feels like I'm posting for the sake of posting. And I guess with this, I was filming each painting and I just felt like there was so much I could talk about. Every day I could at least do 1 post of the finished painting, but I could do reels, create stories every day because there was always something that I was working on. But the biggest impact social media wise for me was the fact that this has created 4 YouTube videos. I really enjoy YouTube. I'm not very good at it yet. I don't need to tell you that because you're watching the video and you can see that for yourself. The editing needs polishing, but I do enjoy it. As much as I might not be great at it, I enjoy it. And I've really liked the fact that I could create all of these videos for this challenge. I mean, being able to get 4 video ideas from this one idea was really great. I've been trying to post every week. Initially, I always thought that if I was going to do something like that, then I would have to put all of my attention into the YouTube video and I wouldn't have any time to do anything else. And this experience has shown me that I can be doing that in the background, but I still then have the mornings to do other things. I can still fit commissions in there. So that's really been quite eye-opening, I think, in terms of how much I could actually get done. So yeah, the social media side has definitely improved. So let's talk about the painting side of things because that is also important. I mean, I've talked about the scheduling, I've talked about how it's improved social media, but has it improved my painting? I think it has. So there are 2 ways I think my paintings have improved a little. So the first way is my ability to choose a decent reference to paint from. I wasn't very good at this before. I have so many reference photos that I just kind of disregarded because I thought they're not good enough, so I'm not going to use those. And I think doing a challenge like this opened my eyes as to what I actually could use. I mean, there's probably at least about 5, maybe more paintings in there. In fact, I might just get them. I'll just get them and show you.
So actually, there might be more than 5 in total, but these are the 5 that I've grabbed to begin with. So
this one, the little North Yorkshire village, that one I wasn't going to do anything with because I just didn't think it had enough detail in it, and actually I think that's made quite a nice painting. These fish, love the fish. I wanted to paint that for a while, but it didn't look a good enough composition to do a painting from, but I ended up managing to make that work on this small scale. This one of the garden. I mean, even in this challenge I was going to do this in week 2 and then I ended up postponing it to week 3 and I still wasn't going to do it because I thought it wouldn't make a nice painting, but I think it's a lovely painting. One of the forest. Again, I thought it was nice with a stream running through it, but I wasn't sure how to make that work as a full-size painting, but it does work. The composition is there. This one, I took this photo such a long time ago now. I wasn't sure whether it would be interesting enough to paint. This is my most popular painting. It's one I'm actually going to do a larger version of, and several people wanted to buy it. I've ended up doing more of these to cover that. I wasn't going to do anything with this. So this challenge has really helped me to appreciate that your reference photo doesn't have to be perfect, just give something a chance, try it, see if it works. Might move these out of the way so I don't spill tea on them. So we have other paintings here as well, which I painted from things that were just outside the house. The garden one really could be included in this selection, but these are things that I just never would have thought about. I always thought that I needed to be living in a really exotic location to be able to create these really nice paintings, that I needed to have that inspiration on my doorstep. And I would think, oh, why can't I find references that great? You know, why isn't there anything that I can paint nearby? And actually, there's loads of things nearby that I can paint. Those roses have been outside for years and I've never thought I'll paint those. So this has really opened my eyes as to the beauty as well, because I mean, pebbles on the floor. I love this painting and I never would have thought to do that if it hadn't have been for this challenge. Right, what's next? Oh, let me show you still life options. So yeah, these are from outside, but there were lots of inspiration that came from inside as well, just from things lying around. Let me gather those up. It's proper show and tell now.
Let me go grab the inspiration.
Okay, the still life is probably one of the best examples of just finding random references and running with it.
We have a tea light.
It's not lit.
The little duck.
Love the duck. It's in kind of this fantasy sea, metallic sea here, but...
Love ball of sheep.
And now he has his own painting. There we go. All of these things are just lying around the house. I never would have thought to do paintings from them. Shows you that there's so much inspiration everywhere. I never would have thought, I'm gonna paint this. I never would have looked at this and thought, I'm gonna do a painting of this sheep. But I did, and I like it, and it's great.
What else? Oh, the bee.
So, Mr. B, the speaker, he's a little bit more orange in here than he is in real life. This was one of the first still lifes I did. No, it was the first still life I did of this challenge. Look at his eyes. That's cute.
And this ball bearing.
Here. And this is the plant that is reflected. And this is the table. It's all coming together. You can see the whole set. I really feel like this has opened my eyes as to what I could potentially paint, that it doesn't have to be a mountain. It doesn't have to be a seascape, although I did do a coastal scene. It doesn't have to be something big and epic. And I can just find things in the house. Much more open to looking around me and trying to figure out what I can paint from. I'm gonna finish my last bit of tea and then we'll get on to the last point.
Alrighty then.
Let's get into how it actually improved my painting, and did it. A short answer, if you just want to skip the end of this rambling part of this video, the short answer is yes, I think it did improve my painting. I think that the paintings I did in week 3 are definitely a step up from the ones I did in the first week. I know a part of this is going to be subjective and you might look at those paintings and think, Rachel, week 3 sucks. I don't know why you like that so much. Fair.
Harsh.
Fair. We're all entitled to our own opinion. But personally, I feel like the technical ability of the paintings in the 3rd week are better. Now, 21 days is not a huge amount of time, so I was not going into this expecting it to be perfect at the end or to have fixed all of my problems and now I'm a master artist and I'm great at what I do. That would be lovely. I mean, if all you had to do was put in 21 days worth of effort and you'd made it, that would be great.
That's not the case.
But it has helped, and it has shown me the importance of that regular practice, which is so important. I thought I was already doing that, taken to do this whole thing to realise that actually I wasn't doing as much as I thought. I'm not saying that I want to do a painting like this every day forever, because I think I would get burnt out. I think you need to also take some time off. But it's shown me the importance of maybe doing a lot of the smaller paintings, even if they're just practice studies, practicing in the background while I'm working on something larger. My opportunity to improve comes from that end stage of a painting. You know, when you got your painting, you're looking at it, you're thinking, what's good about this? What is rubbish? What's absolutely terrible that I really don't like about it? And you're thinking, how will I improve that in the next painting? So every time I come to the end of a painting, I feel quite inspired then as to what I'm going to do differently the next time. And when you do lots of little paintings, you have so many opportunities to grow. So I've had 21 opportunities to evaluate what I did and to try and make it better the next time. And I think you can tell that. I think you can see that in week 3, that it is better than in week 1. The roses are a good example of that. So the first rose, the very first painting I did, I struggled with so much. I really didn't like that painting. And then the last rose that I did, the yellow rose, was so much easier. And I feel the values are better in that one, and I think it just looks better, it comes together better, I like the edges better. So I feel like that's a good example as to how that's improved. I know people are going to have different favourites, maybe people like the first week better, I don't know. But for me, I feel like I can see an improvement there. I think I'll wind it up now because I think I've spoken for a while. Ultimately, I enjoyed this challenge, I liked it, I thought it was great, I learned a lot from it. It's really changed my perspective on how I'm going to approach my business and how I'm going to work from now on my approach to my paintings. So honestly, it has made a huge improvement, which is a lot to ask for a 21-day painting challenge, but it did. I really liked it. I hope you've liked it too, because I enjoy painting these things, and I hope you've liked watching the videos. I'm going to try and stick to the weekly YouTube video from now on, so we'll have more of
this entertaining situation.
I think that's probably it, you know. I don't want to do a long outro, and I think it's already too long. I don't think I have anything more to say, so, you know, see you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it, and I'll see you around. I'll see you next time. Thanks again. Cheers. Goodbye.